packets to frames, and frame will be it will be converted from frame and sending to the other receiving node, right? All those things we discussed in the previous session. Now we'll move on to the framing. HDLC framing, high level data link control. Okay, framing is nothing but the format of frame, how we will be having in the each frame, what are the different information, and how many fields it will be contained each frame will be discussed here. Okay, to provide the flexibility necessary to support all the options possible in the modes, like sending mode and balancing mode, or in a normal response mode. Okay, and the configurations just described. Okay, and HDLC, like high level data link control, defines three types of frames. One is information frame, that is called high frame, and supervisory frame, that is called S frame, and unnumbered frame, okay, that is called U frames. Okay, each type of frames, each type of frame serves as an envelope for transmission of different type of messages. Message is nothing but a data. Okay, data is in the form of message, which will be enveloped in the different formats, like iframe, S frame, or unnumbered frame. Okay, U frame. Okay, if frames are used to data link, if frames are used in a data link layer, the user data, data link user data, okay, data link user data, and control information relating to user data is piggybacking. Okay, like what do you mean by piggybacking? Simple way I'll explain here. The piggybacking means when sender sends the message, uh, whatever we discuss, simple protocol and HDLC, like stop and wait protocol, which are unidirection, right? Unidirection. Okay, there is a sender and the receiver. Okay, we have only one transmission medium or one single link. Okay, through this we will be sending frames. Okay, frames are sending from source to destination or sender to receiver, and once it receives, then only the acknowledgement will be sending the same link. Okay, but when you say piggyback, piggybacking means we have unidirection, right? And we'll be having one more link, that is called acknowledgement link. Okay, that is called acknowledgement link. Along with acknowledgement link, we'll be sending some frame data. Okay, whatever data which is received for confirmation purpose, again receiver sending to the sender along with acknowledgement the same data or information which is contained in the frame. So, okay, this this procedure is called piggybacking. Got it? This procedure is called piggybacking. Okay, like whenever you send, if your frames are used to data link user data and control information relating to user data, we will be maintaining a piggybacking procedure. S frames are used only to transport control information. S frames are only used in transport control information. I frames is used for piggybacking. Okay, I frames are used for data link user data and control information relating to the user data. That is called piggybacking. S frames are used only for transport control information, and unnumbered frames, that's called U frames, are reserved for system management. U frames are reserved for system management, like task management and memory management, whatever parts or your computer is having, all it will be managing by this U frames. Information carried by U frames in sorry, information carried by U frames in intended for managing the link itself. Okay, and each frame in HDLC, like high level data link control, may contain up to 6 fields. Okay, like 6 fields, which is shown in the figure here. Okay, like the F frame is contains 6 fields. One is flag, either end is both the ends flag field will be there. Address field like source and destination addresses will be mentioned, and control field like control information will be having, and user information. The actual data or actual message the user or source and destination or sender and receiver to communicate, and FCFS like first check. FCS means first check sequence. Frame check sequence is called FCS. That is called frame check sequence field, and ending with again flag field. Okay, like HDLC may contain up to 6 fields, which is shown in the figure. Beginning flag field, and an address field, a control field, and an information field, and a frame check sequence field, and an ending with flag field. In multiple frame transmissions, the ending flag of one frame can serve as a beginning flag for the next frame. Like whenever you say there are multiple frames are transmitting, like we have first frame, and second frame, and third frame, and fourth frame. Okay, every frame is identified through flag bit. Okay, every frame is identified with flag bit. Okay, this flag bit is ended with this and begin with the other frame. Let us take this is frame 1, frame 2, frame 3. This flag bit is end of frame 3 and beginning of frame 4. Okay, like every between two frames there is a flag bit which is end and beginning of every frame will be mentioned here. Okay, and of the next frame, here we have HDLC frames like I frame, S frame, and U frame. I frame contains 6 fields, and S frame contains only flag bit of both the ends. Okay, flag field, address field, control, and FCS. Okay, here we don't have any user information, so just different fields will be attached here and sending the frame. And U frame means unnumbered frame, which is used for management information like system management, memory management, okay, process management. All this will be performed through this particular frames. Okay, this format of frames. Flag, both ends, like the beginning and end of the frame will be mentioned or identified through these flags. And address, like source address or destination address. And we have control information, like how the system will be controlling all the uh, operations of the system. Okay, like uh, every concept of management is controlling. Okay, when you come to each field, how they dedicated or how it is explained here. Flag field, this field contains synchronization pattern. Okay, this field contains synchronization pattern, that is 0 1 1 1 1 and 0. Okay, there are the flag field is beginning with 0 and ending with 0, which identifies both the beginning and end of the frame. Okay, which identifies both beginning and end of the frame by identifying 0 bit. Okay, and next is address field. The address field contains the address of the secondary station. Okay, address of the secondary station, maybe secondary station will be the source station, or sorry, destination station, target station. If the primary station creates the frame, it contains a two address. Okay, it contains a two address, that is called destination address. If a secondary station creates a frame, it contains a from address. Okay, it contains a from address from where which sender it has been received the frame. Okay, sender and receiver address will be mentioned in the both the ends. Okay, like sender is mentioning the destination address, and the receiver is mentioning the source address. Okay, the address field can be 1 byte, okay, that is 8 bits, or several byte long, okay, several bytes long, like 8 bits or more than 8 bits also, like 16 bit, 32 bit, right, or 24 bit, like this it will be mentioning, and depending on the needs of the network. Okay, it's all depend upon the need of the network, what is the byte size, or what is the field it will be occupied for particular application or particular purposes. Okay, next is control field. Control field is one or two bytes. Okay, control field will be contains 1 or 2 bytes, used for flow and error control, like we discussed no in beginning of this chapter. Flow and error control. Flow means sends the data, receiver receives the data without having droplet, okay, without having any packet drops, okay, by managing buffers or some other technique. Okay, like acknowledgement and response. Based on this also we can manage, like sender whatever rate it is transmitting, receiver same rate it has to receive the data. Okay, like this the flow control and error control will be managed. Okay, the interpretation of bits are discussed later. Okay, the interpretation of like error bits or will be discussed in the data chapters. Information field. Next is information field or actual message field. The information field contains the user's data. Okay, which is contains actual user data from the network layer or management information. Its length can vary from one network to another. Okay, like whenever you send a message, it's all depend upon the configuration of your mobile or your device, and that will be varied from device to device or the network to network. Okay, the information is nothing but actual user's data. Okay, and FCS field. Okay, frame check field or sequence, frame check sequence, like what is the frame order, like increasing order or decreasing order or random fashion which will be sending, all this will be mentioned in the frame check sequence. Is the HDLC error detection field. It can contain either 2 or 4 byte CRC. Okay, either 2 or 4 bit CI 4 byte CRC. Okay, cyclic redundancy check will be added here. Okay, like is there any bits corrupted in the information field? To identify that, we can add the CRC bits. Okay, like remainder or ramming code. Yeah, some technique will be added at the one field. It's called FCS field. The control field determines the type of frame and defines its functionality. So let us discuss format for of this field is details. The format is specified in the type of frame as shown in the figure. Okay, like n of s, n of r. Like s is small. What is s? S is nothing but, yeah, single bit, and or means redundant bit. Okay, next three bits are called, okay, I'll see control field for iframes. The first bit defines the type. If the first bit of the control field is 0, this means that the frame is iframe. Okay, when control bit field is set to 0, then this frame is nothing but iframe. If next 3 bits called n of s and defines the sequence bit, s means sequence bit of the control field is 0. This means that defines the sequence number of frame. Note that with the 3 bits we can define sequence number between 0 to 7, and the last 3 bits called n of r. Okay, that is called corresponding to the acknowledgement number when piggybacking is used. Single bit between n of s called n of r correspond to the acknowledgement number when piggybacking is used. When single bit between n of s and n of r called p bar f bit. Okay, p bar f bit, that is p bar f field is a single bit with dual purpose. It has meaning only when it is set to bit 1 and can mean pole or final. Okay, pole or final. It means pole when the frame is sent by primary station and to the secondary when the address field contains the address of the receiver. It means final when the frame is sent by say secondary to primary, that is called uh, final. Okay, and the address field contains the address of the sender. It is just iframe how it will be control field as it, like see iframe when 0 from 0 to 3 there is n of s, and from 0 to 7 there is n of r. Okay, single bit and redundant bits. And s frame is again 1 0 and code p of f p bar f bit, primary to secondary, which will be mentioned here. Okay, and which mentions p bar f field is a single bit with dual purpose. So next is control fields for s frames. So it is more of theory, so just to read once. Okay, I'll move on to the point to point protocol. Okay, PPP, triple P, point to point protocol. Like as we discussed, a simple protocol and stop and wait protocol, HDLC protocol. Okay, HDLC means above two formats is called HDLC, high level control data link control. Okay, protocol. So next is point to point protocol, the name itself indicating that one of the most common protocols for point to point access is the point to point protocol. Today, millions of internet users who need to connect their home computers to the server of internet service provider is uses point to point protocol. All our personal computers or personal Wi-Fi, all these are used point to point protocol. Okay, like for security purpose, which is more stronger in security, like because point to point connection and gate walls or firewalls can be used very effectively. Okay, the majority of these users have a traditional modem. Okay, all these this traditional modem can be used in point to point. They are connected to the internet because one device can be connected to my modem. Okay, so there you can set a very strong passwords or very strong firewalls. They are connected to the internet through a telephone line which provides services of a physical layer, but a control and manage the transfer of data. There is a need for a point-to-point protocol or the data link layer, and which gives PPP, like point-to-point protocol is by for the most common. Okay, like most of the small case applications will be used point-to-point protocol. Okay, next is services provided by PPP, like point-to-point protocol, which defines the format of frame to be exchanged between devices, and it also defines how to devices can negotiate the establishment of the link and exchange of data. Okay, point to point is very
Lokesh,
simple. Yes, sir.
ಯಾವ model?
Fourth module, sir.
CO4
CO4.
CO4. Okay. CO4. Subject
Data communication, sir.
18 CS 45
46.
46 DC
Yes.
data communication.
DC. Data.
Knowledge level 2.
No, sir.
Batch
2019-23.
section.
C section, sir.
Okay, pa. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay, guys. Are you following right? Listening? Just
Yes,
confirm
sir.
once. Yes, thank you. Okay, services which are provided by point to point. So it is very simple protocol because which gives the basic applications. When you take your mobile, uh, your friend to your mobile, when you connect the internet through your hotspot, okay, there is a one security code, right? If you give that security code, you can access. Okay, that is called point to point security given. There will be used point to point protocol, and which is used to exchange the devices, and once your device ID is exchanged, you can exchange your data also. Okay, point to point is designed to accept payloads for from several network layers. Okay, payload means which is a small code where for authentication purpose will be exchanging. Authentication is also a provided in protocol, but it is a optional. Okay, sometimes it is must and sometimes it must be optional. Whether two sender and receiver, if they are good enough or known enough, then authentication is not much important. The new version of PPP, that is point-to-point protocol, is called multi-link. Okay, multi-link point-to-point protocol. Even the end-to-end systems are there like this. So just I'll write it and show you. So let us take we have a sender system and a receiver system. Okay, when you connect and when you use, this is called point-to-point protocol. Okay, here some rules will be established, like the bandwidth or the distance between the sender and receiver, and what type of communication medium is used, and whether used FDM or TDM. So many concepts will come into picture when you make a link or when you establish a link between two devices. So here again, this device can be connected to many devices. Okay, this is called multi-link. Okay, this is called multi-link point-to-point protocol. Here multiple devices again connected in turn to the your end system. Okay, this is again point-to-point will be connected. Again point-to-point will be connected. Okay, multiple point-to-point links and point-to-point connection. Okay, this concept is called multi-link point-to-point protocol. Okay, and which provides connections over multiple links. And one interesting feature of PPP is that it provides network address configuration. Okay, which provides the user can set the configuration of your network, and what capabilities or what extent you can use your network, you can set the parameters. Like this practically useful when home user needs a temporary network address to connect the internet. Okay, it is, as I said, the PPP is used for smaller applications, home applications we can use. Okay, internet which is used in the our personal use, and services not provided by PPP. Okay, the you can call disadvantage or the services which is not obtained from point-to-point protocol. Okay, point-to-point protocol does not provide flow control. Okay, here it will not maintain flow control. Like sender, whatever rate it sends, receiver cannot receive the same. Okay, point-to-point may give the imbalance between sender and receiver. Okay, there might be a loss of data also sometimes happened, and that is the one disadvantage, right? Does not provide flow control. A sender can send several frames on one after another with no concern about overwhelming or overhead the receiver. The point-to-point protocol has very simple mechanism for error control, and a CRC field is used to detect errors. If the frame is corrupted, it is silently discarded. Upper layer protocol needs to take care of them. The problem: lack of error control and sequence numbering may cause a packet to be received or out of order. And point-to-point protocol does not provide a sophisticated addressing mechanism to handle frames in the multi-point configuration. Okay, these are the services which it doesn't provide. Okay, like as I said, if flow control and error control is not there, means definitely the data, the sender, whatever data sent, that is not guaranteed that is received by receiver. Okay, there might be a corruption, or there might be extra data has been added, or the data may be lost, or so many problems may arise when you don't have flow control and error control mechanism in the network. Got it? Okay, these are the advantages of services provided and services not provided by point-to-point protocol. Next is framing for point-to-point protocol. Format is like we have flag field, both the end, beginning and end of the frame, and address field, like we can use 8 bits. Okay, one byte flag, 1 byte address, and 1 byte control field, 1 to 2 byte of protocol. Okay, and payload, that is called variable length. Payload is variable length, and 2 to 4 bytes of frame check sequence. Okay, frame check sequence, and finally 1 byte at the end of the frame flag. Okay, PPP uses character oriented, is also called byte oriented frame. Character means each character 1 byte or 8 bits. Okay, you can call byte oriented frame. It shows the format of PPP frame. The description of each field is follows. Flag field, like as I said, which starts and ends with 1 byte flag field with bit pattern 0, both the ends 0, and 6 ones. Okay, 0 1 1 1 1 1 1 0. Okay, this is the flag field at both the end. When continuous 6 ones, 0 followed by continuous 6 ones and followed by 0 means that is called flag. Either the frame is initiated or the frame is ended. Okay, that's what the network has to understood this particular frame. Address field means in this protocol is constant value and set to all ones broadcast address. If all ones are set, the address as, then that is called broadcast address. It is received by any number of users or receivers. Control field is set to constant value, that is 00000011, imitating unnumbered frames in HDLC. Imitating, like which is copied from the unnumbered frame from the HDLC. As we will discuss later, point-to-point protocol does not provide any flow control. Error control is also limited to error detection. Protocol field defines what is being carried in the data field, either user data or other information. Okay, which asks like what is the condition provided, what is the rule are made, whether it is carried data field or either user data or other information. This field is by default 2 bytes long, but two parties can agree to use only 1 byte. Okay. Payload field. Okay, this field carries either the user data or other information that will be discussed shortly. The data payload about payload will be discussed later in the next chapter. The data field is sequence of bytes with the default of maximum sorry 1 minute guys, I'll come back. Okay, done. Payload field means it might be either user data or other information. About this we will discuss later. And the data field is a sequence of bytes with a default of maximum 1500 bytes. Okay, that size of payload might be maximum 1500 bytes, 1500 bytes, but this can be changed during negotiation. Okay. The data field byte stuffed and bit stuffed we discussed already. If the flag byte pattern appears in this field, because there is no field defined the size of the field. The next is padding. Padding means adding few more bits to increase the size or less than the maximum default value. Then you can negotiate the value, or you can add the number of bits to make it equate. Okay, those are called payload. Okay, again we'll be discuss about payload in the next chapter in detail. Okay, next is frame check sequence. FCS is a simply 2 byte or 4 byte standard CRC. Okay, like remainder would be added, no, like CRC along with your data field. Okay, and CRC bits may add and remove. That's called the encryption decryption to make our data secure. Okay, during transmission. What do you mean by byte stuffing? Okay, byte means like 1 byte, 2 byte. This 8 bits. Since point-to-point protocol is a byte-oriented protocol, the flag in point-to-point protocol is byte that needs to be escaped whenever it appears in the data section of the frame. The escape byte is like 0 11111101, which means that every time the flag like pattern appears in the data, this extra byte is stuffed to tell receiver that the next byte is not a flag. Obviously, the escape byte itself should be stuffed with another escape byte. Okay, like escape byte, like before your byte, before your flag byte, you can add one escape byte with some different bits. So it has to inform your receiver that when I had this escape byte, okay, next you need to understand that the next byte itself flag byte. Okay, that is called byte stuffing. Next is transition phase. Transition means changing from one state to other state, or one place to other place, or one device to other device. Okay, changing the phases is called transition. A point-to-point protocol connection goes through phases. Point-to-point connection goes through phases, which can be shown in transition phase diagram. Here we have one diagram. So directly I'll explain the diagram. No need of going to theory part. Okay, so just read out. See, in the transition phase, the device in the dead state. In the beginning, there is no active in the sender. Once we start to send some data, and which get activated by the event occurs start, and once start, it carries the dedicated detected, okay, which carries the detected and establishes a connection. Okay, establishes a connection and makes authentication. All this happens once the sender is active. Okay, these are the states of your sender and receiver. Okay, once it is started, which makes establishment of connection. Okay, like carrier detection failed, it comes again to the sender itself. There is no connection established, so just connection failed. Okay, like connection failed, you will get the error message. No, the same message. If carrier is detected, the connection establishment, then we can send authentication needed. Okay, authentication needed. Once authentication is done between sender and receiver, if the authentication is done successful, it will connect the network, and network pair configuration has to done, then we can open the connection and transfer the data. Okay, that's called transfer state. Once the data has been transferred, the message is done. Okay, once it is successfully transferred, uh, then it is saying that done. Once done is over, terminate. This is called successful execution. If authentication failed means it directly goes to the terminate. Directly goes to the terminate. Once it is terminated, carrier dropped. Carrier drop. Carrier means just it is a signal. Okay, carrier means it's a just signal. Carrier has been dropped. Okay, again it goes to the dead state. The user or the sender goes to the dead state. In other ways, I'll write one diagram and I'll explain what are the different states you will get. See, for example, we have a sender and receiver. Between these, what are the different operations performed here? Definitely sender sending. Before sending, there are three stages, no? Like connection establishment, connection setup is called establishment, then transfer, then tear down. Okay. Along with those, steps, we need to establish a connection. Okay, there is a sender and receiver. Between this, when you want to communicate, the first step is start. Okay, we need to start the sender. Start the sender. This is the event. Okay, once the event occurs, which the dead state becomes active state. Dead state, active state it will become. And once it is started, it establishes a connection. Okay, carrier transfer. Okay, carrier transfer or carrier signal is transfer. Once it is done, next is authentication. Okay, I need to authenticate from the sender to receiver. Okay, once sender sends hello, if receiver said hi, we send hello, sorry, hi, and receiver sends hello means that is called acknowledgement. Okay, once two parties are exchanging the message, then authentication is successful. Okay, authentication is successful. Once authentication has been successful, the connection is established. Connection is established. That is called network. You can call a link. You can call or medium. You can call. Okay. Once connection is established, next phase is transfer state. Transfer state means which is used to transfer the data. Transfer data. Once transfer data has been done, okay, next message is done. Once it is done, the connection is removed or the connection is been teared down. Okay, these are the different stages. One is start, right, and carrier signal, carrier transfer. Next is we need to get the authentication. Once authentication is successful, transfer data, and once transfer is done, okay, transfer done, next is terminate state. Okay, terminate. Start is also a dead state. Dead state, authentication state, and termination state, and transfer state. Okay, these are the four major states available in the any connection. Okay, see, dead state, establish, authentication, network, open, and terminate. These are the various states here. Okay, these are the different transition phases of a point-to-point protocol. Okay, go through this theory part. We'll understand effectively. Done. Okay, this completes this chapter, DLC's chapter. We'll move on to the next chapter in the next class. Done? Is it understood? Go through once till you are finding any difficulties. We'll discuss.